emailing you that slide, by the way, but I'm not really gonna go by it too much, though. Y'all feel free to get as much food as y'all want. We definitely got plenty. Is this what this is for? These lights are hot.
I don't know if you wanted to like do like a quick introduction.
Yeah, that would.
I appreciate you being here for this.
Oh, yeah. I appreciate you for setting it up. This is great.
Yeah, that's smart. I did not realize that May is Small Business Month.
I didn't either. That's good to know.
It's good to know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Oh, that's great.
Will this, like...
You should try to
Oh, is it on?
Do I press it, hold down anything?
Might be
I'm not. Oh, sorry. You just want me to say like next slide or anything? I don't know.
somebody asked me right here. I'll sit right here. And then y'all can just mark up. We can just put it in the tail.
Okay, you got it. I'm gonna tell Jacob it's pretty fancy.
I know.
Got a microphone and everything.
want to talk too loud.
Oh, no, it's good. You're fine.
Well, how's everyone doing this morning? Still morning.
That's right. Good to see you all.
My name is Megan Hunt. I'm a district coordinator with AFLAC. This is Phil.
Hey everyone, my name is Phil Verpeel. I'm also with AFLAC. I'm one of the new business advisors. Great to be with you all.
So I could hear me talking. I guess it's recording me? Okay.
Okay, great.
Sorry. Anyway, I could hear me talking, so it confused me. Anyway, I just wanted to start off first by thanking you guys for letting us come do this. This is an amazing opportunity. We appreciate it. Y'all are all business owners, right? Small business owners, I assume? Okay.
Want to give a little round of applause for that. That's
Yeah.
a big deal. I feel like this is a special thing. I don't know, I mean, y'all do this more often than we do, but I think to me this is really beautiful that like we're all here supporting one another, growing businesses. That doesn't happen every day. So I want to appreciate y'all for coming out for that.
And not in every city. I mean, Auburn,
That's right.
which is where we're from, is Auburn. If you're going to do something like this, you're going to pay, and you're going to pay a pretty good bit to do it. So we do appreciate this a lot. My family has always owned small businesses. My dad owned a restaurant for 20 plus years in Auburn. My grandparents still own a mattress store in Auburn. So if anybody needs a deal on a mattress, let me know. But I'm very familiar with the small business mentality and running of a small business and everything that goes into it. It's a hard thing to do. So we do appreciate that. AFLAC in general is supplemental insurance. We do offer group dental and vision, which is a great benefit if you do have multiple employees. A lot of smaller businesses are usually one-man shops or one-man shows. We have individual products as well, like our cancer policy that you mentioned earlier, and several others. As far as the group side of it, if you do have employees or as you get employees, AFLAC doesn't cost the business anything to offer it to your employees. It can be 100% payroll deducted, meaning the employees pay for the benefits that they want. We are substantially cheaper than Blue Cross Blue Shield. We're not the same because we pay the cash directly to the policyholder, but it is much more affordable, especially for people who don't have any insurance or can't afford any insurance or have the marketplace $0 a month plan that's just for like catastrophes and things like that. That's a good plan to have, but it's not going to cover a ton, and you're going to have a really high deductible. That's kind of where AFLAC comes in to help pay for those things that are out-of-pocket expenses. If you are out of work due to an accident or an illness and can't come to work, short-term disability is going to be there to kind of help supplement your insurance. That's what a lot of business owners want, is the short-term disability. As far as for their employees and things, the hospital plans to help with deductibles, and then accident policies to help with just kids and people having accidents and needing to take off work. If you, so how many of you guys have had an accident where you, like a car accident, where you had to pay your deductible for the insurance for the car, and then you had to pay your deductible for the emergency room? So, yes, several times. AFLAC is here for that portion of it. It can really come in handy because major medical is great and it does help pay the doctors and everything like that, but it doesn't pay for everything. And a lot of people forget about that, or they just think, I have Blue Cross Blue Shield, so I'm covered. And there's so many more out-of-pocket expenses that happen. And like I said, it doesn't cost anything to offer it to your employees. It's a great benefit. In fact, it can save you money on your taxes as the business owner, because we can do a cafeteria plan where the employees take it out of their paycheck pre-tax, so they save money on the income taxes, and then we save money, or I'm sorry, you guys save money on the FICA taxes.
You know, I was going to ask, it might be easy since there's just a few of us to just do a quick introduction. Maybe name, maybe the business that you're part of, that you're growing, and maybe how many years you've been doing it. You want to start?
I'm Emil McGraw. I run Prolific Solutions. It's a business, technology, and operations consulting firm. I've been in
thank you.
How many employees do you have?
Oh, yeah.
It's
Just
me.
you?
And I have to subcontract out to other people for different.
Okay, awesome.
Great. Thanks, Emil.
My name is Angela Washington. My business is Imperial Consulting Services Group. We also have a division that's called IC Biometric and Fingerprint Services, where we offer all identity verification and workplace compliance services. Officially, the business has been running since 2021, but I opened my brick and mortar this past September.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes,
That's awesome.
But yeah, so we do a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
great.
Thank you, Angela.
Well, I'm Trish Jordan. I'm part of the staff here at SPOS, but I also have my own small business as well. Dreams by Trish, where I make personalized gifts
Oh.
for people.
What kind of
So
personalized
still,
gifts?
Jewelry, t-shirts, mostly anything. I also crochet too. So
That's great.
it's a lot. So I'm just here to gather more information
Yeah.
so we can tell our clients about it as well.
Right.
Because a lot of them don't have a clue about what else is out there.
Yeah.
When it comes to insurance.
Yeah.
And I'm more so here too for my clients. Like I do have like service business clients and people who do have employees
Yeah.
that they need to know that they have access to these types of
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well,
That's
thank
right.
you all.
So,
You-
go ahead.
No, I was just going to share real quick. So I started with Aflac maybe about 4 months ago now. And the model that Aflac really has you starting to think about as a new agent is this idea of being a business owner and partnering with other business owners. And to me, it's been so eye-opening working with different business owners because, and each of you have mentioned it, it's a lot. There's a lot on your plate, a lot of things that you're trying to manage all at once. And what you usually find is that the employee piece is like, you know, you want to make sure that they see you as someone who's caring for your employees, someone who is supportive because they're helping you do the work and helping you grow. But it's a lot, right? So if they're bringing in things, if they're bringing in, you know, challenges, how do you partner with maybe Aflac, right? Or partner with another company to allow you to manage those elements, right? So that you're now, you know, free to do some more things, right? Your capacity then grows. And just like Megan mentioned, it doesn't cost you anything to then offer this to your employees. And then now your employees are thinking, wow, we got coverage for this, we got this, we can get life insurance. Man, they really care about me. And even, you know, on the outside for talent acquisition, you're now attracting people who are looking for those types of benefits as well. So I think it's a great opportunity to partner. I'm so glad that we're here today, but I think we're going to talk a little bit more about some of the specific policies and things that we can also support a business with. So.
Yeah, so I know you said subcontractors, you work with them. We do offer 1099 benefits and plans that we can do that they can get it taken out of their check or commission or whatever, which is a great benefit that a lot of people don't know about because subcontractors usually don't have that many benefits. The other thing, talking about individual employee, a lot of small businesses or businesses where it's just one person working, their husband or their sister or their mom or somebody is their admin or helps out and does something in some kind of capacity for the business. You only need 3 separate policy holders in order to get a group rate from Aflac underneath a business. So the way that it works is, say your husband or brother helps you out sometimes with your business. You get a policy, they get a policy, and then whoever else helps you or volunteers gets a policy. And it all comes to the business, but, and you paid the invoice. However, your spouse can just write you a check at the end of the month, or your sister, whoever is helping you out. So there are ways to go about getting group rates and group benefits for individuals.
You know, let me ask, what are some challenges that y'all are facing right now? And we can be a little bit open, but if there's like one challenge that you're like, hey, I would need some help to do this, here's something I'm trying to wrestle with. Any ideas come to mind? Either for your business or even people that you're working with?
Insurance specific?
It can
No,
just be in
just
general.
anything.
In
Just-
general. Big idea, big picture.
Yeah.
What's a challenge that you're trying to work on right now as part of developing your business?
My personal business, I'm working on like
That's great. Thank you for that.
I think that's a good one for me as well, but actually having someone to help flush out the concepts that I've built or the
Yes.
ideas.
Okay, yep.
I have the plan, I have the know-how and the strategy, but you can become kind of burdened with the execution after creating it and things of that nature, especially as a business owner, and knowing that other operations have to go forward. So I would say having someone to help flush that out, and having quality employees. I had a couple of little bumps in the road with that. And,
Yep.
people tell you what you want to hear, and when it's time to execute, it's like,
Right.
where's that person?
Yes. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. That's great.
Absolutely.
That's right. That's great. Thank you for that.
Very true.
Oh, yeah. Trish, anything? Okay. That's all right. That's good. That's good. I know. I love it. Love it.
So, touch on a couple of those key points. One, as with Aflac, we're, like he said, small business owners ourselves. We're 1099 workers. We work off referrals. We try to, we have a wide network because we work with so many businesses, but we try to let other businesses know and other accounts know, hey, if this is what you're looking for, these people are great, or let me give you this guy's business card, So we do build a network in that and try to, like this morning, I put on my Facebook, I tagged the One Stop Shop on Facebook and was like, excited for this opportunity so that people would hopefully click on the One Stop Shop Facebook and kind of learn more about it because they may not know.
And go back and do that for our businesses.
I sure will.
Yes, we will.
Absolutely.
We will. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
Yeah,
And that's part of it. It's, building a network and trying to help people with like what would help you, getting your name out there to more of this industry or more, and we work with you on that. As far as obviously by offering benefits, you're usually going to attract more people, higher quality people who are going to stick around longer to keep those
Yeah,
benefits.
that's such a good point.
With Aflac, you can take your policies with you, so maybe don't put that in there when you're talking about it, but it can help for sure. And then also, Aflac is a Fortune 500 company, so you're able to say, we offer some of the highest quality benefits, and you're not having to pay for any of it, so it's pretty nice. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, Martavis, can you move to the next slide?
Sorry.
No, I think that might help.
Yes, for sure. We kind of went over that already, and then the zero cost. We do payroll deductions. Obviously, we're local agents, so you do have dedicated agents who will help you through the claim process. If you hate talking on the phone and you want to text and do everything virtually, that is an option as well. Y'all are all young, so probably pretty tech savvy, obviously. So you don't have to talk to anybody if you don't want to. I know how that is, but we do have a lot of older clients who I think they could do it, but they don't want to do it. So we do it for them.
The other thing too, which is really interesting, when you think about having a small business, it's oftentimes your everything. You wear all the hats. Your HR, your accounting, your finance, right? And when you think about having employees coming to you, this idea of like professional support, it's interesting because the way Aflac's built, you would have an individual person, got us two here, right? But then you also get this thing called value-added services. So one of those things so value-added services are free. They just kind of bundle as part of what Aflac offers. So if you're offering benefits to your employees, they automatically can get value-added services. The value-added service is one of those things, and there's a number of them, but one of them is where they can advocate for any medical bills. Now, I don't know if you've had to manage medical bills sometimes, and you got to call the hospital, then you got to call the insurance, and then you got to call back to somebody else, and you got to say, hey, I think it's actually less than this, right? There's actually a service where you can give that information to a person, and they're going to do it for you and get that managed for you. So if you have, these, and I know I had it with my parents, kind of having to navigate that for them, right? Where they get a bill and they're not sure if they're paying the whole thing. Did insurance come out at all, right? That's a lot, and that's a lot of time, right? And you think about having someone else take that for you, and it's just bundled in. You know, I think it's just interesting when you think about that for a business. That's just one of those little things that you often, it's not front of mind, but I think for your employees, it's like, oh yeah, I've done that, and I've spent plenty of hours waiting on the phone, right, trying to get someone to help with that. So there's a few other ones as well if you wanted to share some of those.
Yeah, so that was a great point. The value-added service, it's basically a free service that is available to all the employees, yourself included, just as a thank you for doing business with Aflac. You mentioned the insurance one. We have an accidental death benefit that is available where if you or your employees pass away in an accident, we would send their beneficiary $7,500 to help cover the cost of a funeral. There are a ton of people who have no life insurance right now, and if they passed away, whoever is left to bury them doesn't have $10,000 or $7,000 for a funeral right now. I know I've run into that in my own family a couple of different times. So it's a good thing to have for people who have nothing, especially leaving behind a burden of trying to figure out funeral costs. We have, I'm drawing a blank right now, got the telemedicine, which is another good option. It is, has everybody heard of telemedicine? Do y'all know what that is? What telemedicine or teledoc? So that's a free service that we could provide, especially if you're not offering Blue Cross Blue Shield. This is a way to give them some sort of medical coverage. It's $25 copay per visit, and they're able to help them with a huge range of different services and prescriptions and things like that. And then does give you discount. I want to say $75 per visit for teletherapy, which is mental health is definitely becoming more knowledgeable, or people are talking about a lot more. And Aflac is one of the first companies to kind of cover certain parts of mental health wellness. If you go to the hospital or admitted to a mental health facility, Aflac will pay a benefit amount for your confinement in that facility. We do have the discounts for the teletherapy, which is great. And then, especially if you have like young kids and teenagers who are just so much fun. So it's good for family counseling as well. We have some financial ones. So if you do have employees that are maybe not, that are living paycheck to paycheck, we have benefits where they can talk to financial advisors and kind of help set budgets and goal and just learn more about finances and how to get out of that paycheck to paycheck system, which is another good value-added service that we offer.
You know, I was going to mention quickly, and this might be good for you all to think about, is that this middle one, this easy implementation, it's actually really quick to get this set up. Because I know sometimes even with a business owner, you're like, how much time is it going to take? How many pieces of paper I got to sign, right? Do I have to go through this? And who do I got to talk to? It can actually get set up. We're talking about like less than a couple days. And a lot of it's on our end. You know, just a couple pieces of information, and this is set up like that. I just did one recently in Wilcox County, and literally within like 3 days for the next pay period, it's already up and running, which is like amazing, right? You're not talking about this long drawn out process for a month, a lot of paperwork. It's actually really quick. And I think that's also the nice thing with the way Aflac sets it up, is that not only does it go pretty quickly, you also then get a dashboard. So you can now review the information, see what's happening kind of real time. And again, it just takes a little bit off of you to have to set all that up. So that's,
I have a question.
yeah.
You mentioned individual services.
Mhm.
So if, just say today, I want to enroll for the individual services, and as the business scales and I have employees, so you can do that until you get to that 3,
Right.
and then you get the group
Yes.
rate.
Yeah,
That's right.
absolutely.
Yep. That's a great point.
I also have a question about individual service.
Mm-hmm.
How does it work as far as pre-existing conditions? Because I have sickle cell, so that's like a big concern to me
Sure.
when it
Right.
Like short-term disability and things
Absolutely.
like that.
Sure.
What's defined as, allowable.
Yeah.
So you can get life insurance and things like that individually, and accident policies, typically you don't ask any, they don't ask any health questions, so the accident policy's fine. There are guaranteed issue policies that we do have, like short-term disability and life insurance and things that you can get, but you do have to be in a payroll account for those. So if you did have 3 employees or 3 policyholders, that would be the best situation. But until then, you would definitely be eligible for at least like accident and things like that.
That's great.
And then we can, if you all write your information down, we can talk later as well. But on that point, we do have, within payroll accounts, we do have guaranteed issue life insurance, which is a great benefit for people with diabetes or sickle cell anemia or certain things. Being overweight or being too short for your weight can cause you to not be able to get insurance. Let's see.
Let me pause for a second, and this might be able to open up some ideas. The other thought to this that it might be interesting to think about, because I know Megan touched on life insurance. Going through the process of getting life insurance, certainly you're covering yourself, you're covering your family, but there's always this idea of like investment too. And I think it's such an interesting idea that we don't talk about enough, right? Is this idea of investment for yourself and even for your family, right? I've got 2 kids. I've got a 6-year-old, 11-year-old. And as I've learned this process, I've learned that, man, it's so interesting to think about not only kind of like a baseline level of coverage, but now could I think about this as a way of investment for the future? So, and it's always tough to talk about life insurance, right? But it's also like, man, could I set my family up in a way that's a lot different than, because we all know in this room, those conversations are happening. We all know that, right? Those conversations are happening. I think it's so interesting to think about it in that lens of almost like, we mentioned attracting talent, but man, it's such a cool idea to think about, man, not only can we cover you, but like, could you get an opportunity to now advance your family now in a way that's a lot different than before, right? What are some thoughts? Let me just kind of open it up. What are some thoughts as you think about that idea?
As far as the coverage of insurance, you're saying?
Yes.
By an employer or just what?
So this is interesting, right? Because the nice thing is that it's at no cost to the employer. So now you're offering these services, right? But now if an individual, I'll give you an example, you can get up to $500,000 in life insurance. You're saying, well, why would I need $500,000 in life insurance? Right? I mean, you could say, listen, if it only costs $7,500, why do I need $500,000 for? But then you start to think, wait. If I were to take this now and then start to really develop this, because we have plans too for juvenile, where you could set it up for your children. And now that policy doubles, right? Once they get to the age, and now their policy is now accruing interest and growing money.
So the question with that is, like, the contractor that I work for as a federal contractor, they offer life insurance, okay? But it's like, it's term. It's term.
The term, yep.
And it's really, really, really cheap. So I went ahead and opted in because, while I'm there, I just don't know what could happen.
Right.
Of course, my benefit is way more than what my family,
Right.
my husband coverage would be and my children. But to not buy it is like pennies. The only downside is when I leave or separate, it stops.
Right.
That's right. Yep.
So,
That's the downside.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
But at least that's an additional
That's right.
absolutely.
That's right.
means that my family could have.
Yes, that's smart.
So
That's
that
right.
is, that's,
It's worth it.
It is.
a lot of employers will pay for or have like group term life policies that will cover you while you're working there. Like you said, once you leave, you're not able to take that policy with you. Without, I know, it is so cheap, but that's why it's so cheap. Yeah, it's so, one, term life is less expensive than whole life, for sure. Because if you don't pass away in that term, it just goes away. Whole life does create cash value over time. So depending on how much you get, you can use it later on in life to, take a loan out against that cash value that you've gotten. So it is sort of like an investment account, but a little different. Do what?
I was gonna say the index one is one that gives
Oh,
you
yes.
retirement benefit.
Yeah, yeah. And so, but you can, for children, if you got a juvenile whole life policy, it will double when they turn 18 if they needed to use that cash value eventually for college or a house or something like that. The whole life benefit is great across the board. Term life is less expensive. Our life insurance in general is going to be more than a group life policy would be because you are able to take it with you if you leave your job and do it direct. So, and keep it at the same price you got it at. But with term life in groups, they are able to keep it so cheap. I mean, and Aflac has those options for like larger companies and things like that. But because most people aren't going to pass away during that amount of time, and if they leave, they're not taking it with them, so they're able to not have to pay as many claims out as other carriers would, because unfortunately everybody's going to die one day. So if you keep up the policy, for sure you're getting paid out eventually, and that's kind of how they're able to keep it so low. Term life is a great thing to have when you have young children or just bought a mortgage or something like that during your working years. That's what I always tell people, get a small whole life policy that's going to create cash value over time, so you're sure to leave your children or husband something to bury you with, or maybe some kind of nest egg or something. And then term life is, because it's less expensive, do that for while your kids are still young, in case you do pass away, you know that they're going to be taken care of until they're an adult, or leaving a mortgage behind to your spouse. So it's good to have both, and you just kind of have to look at what your debt is, what your needs are. I typically will do the math with somebody because I'm very cheap. Like it's a problem for my family, cheap. And so I will sit there with clients and like do the math to make sure that they're not paying more into it than they are going to get out of it, which it's never the case unless you're like 80 or something like that, because obviously the older you are, the more expensive it is. But and that's definitely something that we go over.
This might be a good time to pause for a second, but I just wanted to mention, it's so interesting when we asked you all the questions of what you're kind of working through, they're all right here. Market strength, that's you, right? You were talking about growing the marketing. How do you get your brand out? How do you compete in this space, right? And now you can then start to attach yourself as a partner and saying, hey, I'm offering like benefits. I'm actually partnering at a level of the highest businesses, right? And then employee morale, I mean, that's a thing, right? When you have employees who are maybe content, feel like, hey, I'm being cared for, right? And then also maybe on the talent acquisition part, you're bringing in some folks who are like, oh yeah, hey, listen, this is a quality shop, right? They've got these types of offerings to support me. And then this one, right, where it feels like this long-term bond. I know we've got just a few more minutes, but I want to see if there are any ideas, thoughts, questions, before we finish up.
On the whole life on juvenile, I don't have any kids yet, but when it doubles, you said about taking value out, are there only specific instances that you can take the money out?
It's your money.
Does it have to be for school, or is it just?
No, it would be, I mean, at that point, since they're 18, it would be up to the child, and they'd have to sign off on it, but it could be it's their money.
It's a number of examples. I had used one once to help pay off a credit card, and it was like, hey, I wanted to get rid of all this debt. Let me borrow against this cash value. Boom, it's already there. It's actually my money. So that's a nice benefit of that.
Absolutely. I know, like you said, we are running short, and I hope that you guys will take this information with y'all and look over it.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
There is a paper over there that has where you can, if you know any business owners, you have one too. If you know any business owners that you think would benefit from talking to us about this, write their information down, and we'll contact them. Let us know who sent us, and we'll definitely reach out to them. But also, there's this slip in your packet. If you will fill this information out, Phil is going to come around and get it. And we were gonna do a drawing, but since it's such a small group, we're just gonna give everybody a prize. So
All right.
it's, I thought there were gonna be a few more, so we were gonna do a drawing, but this will work too. So
Yeah.
congratulations, you all won. But still fill out the
I'll pick this-
form.
I'll pick it up, Neil. You got it? Cool, thanks, buddy. Yeah, I'll wait till y'all are done then. You done? Okay, thanks, Angela. Cool, thank you. I know, you bring up such a good point. I could talk to you all day about that topic. Truly. I know.
Thank you.
Definitely agree about the investment.
Yes.
It's going to
Okay.
happen. You might as well
Yes.
structure it to be an advantageous event.
Yes.
Versus,
I'm telling you, so when I first got in, I was like, wait, 500,000, why would someone need that much, right? And then you start to realize, like, wait, oh, if you're thinking about it in that lens, then it's like, oh, how do you structure it, to your point, yeah.
some of my clients are like considering.
Oh, yes, please do.
Yes,
Ideal clients are in like the 45 to 60 range.
yep.
A lot of them are like retirement planning, considering trust,
Yes.
considering
Smart.
all these things,
Yeah.
trying to figure it out.
Yeah,
You got the better one.
smart.
Please, yes.
If you want to set your family up
Oh, yeah.
to continue to be able to level up,
Yeah,
not to have to experience some of the things
Yeah.
that you probably would in
Yeah.
building.
that's right,
whatever you feel.
that's right. Man, that's great.
In the packets, there is a brief description of most of the policies that we offer. Some of them are for payroll deductions only, but we can definitely discuss. I know cancer, for sure, you can get as an individual, and it's the same policy regardless. Accident, you can get, there is a couple of changes, but I don't think you would even know about the new policy, payroll anyway, and we can discuss that as well.
So I can still get that as an individual?
Yeah, yes, and but I was just saying, some of the ones on there are payroll deduction only, but it does go over life insurance, cancer, I'm sorry? Oh,
Please do.
Yes.
Because I gotta tell them, they changed our insurance 2 years in a row. They have paid for our medical coverage, for 2 years, this year and last year, so that's great.
Yeah.
But the deductible went up 3 times the amount.
Oh,
It went
wow.
from 5,000 to a little,
Woo.
9 to 15, something like, it's really
Sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then I used to have the coverage, when it comes to vision,
Mm-hmm.
we used to have DSM, which I had with my husband. But I used to have it, because everybody in my house, we're blind. We all need contacts or glasses.
It's okay.
So I use my husband's
Sure.
at certain times in mine to just pay the taxes on the contacts
Yep,
or
yep.
whatever.
Right.
But now, my eye doctor don't even take whatever it is, now we have Aetna, whoever.
Oh,
Oh,
okay,
sure,
yeah.
sure.
And I'm like, I need y'all to go back to something that.
That's right. That's actually gonna work.
Right,
I need to share that with our HR person.
Yes,
for sure.
And I'm gonna also share
please do.
this information.
Oh, yeah.
Because,
Even though they're in Ohio, I'm still.
That's okay. That's
yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially with the high deductible, that's crazy,
Yeah, that's
a
tough.
lot.
That's tough. Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Hey, thanks, Emil.
Oh, okay.
Okay, cool.
Um,
Yeah.